G'day and welcome to the Vibe Union podcast. I'm joined by Freddie and Jason. How are we?
Good, thanks.
That took me by
Fantastic.
surprise. There was no loud noises.
I didn't have a bit. I didn't have my normal bit, so I went to that instead. Hey, this is a Vibe Union podcast. It's like a music community podcast all about Melbourne music and creative.
Just creative.
A creative podcast.
Yeah, creative.
Comedy's creativity, isn't it?
I think so.
I think so. I think we're all in agreement on that.
We're here for we do poetry afterwards, so it's more of a creative stuff. Yeah.
Poetry is probably the most easy one to get into.
Yes.
The
What do you-
least hurdles to get into creatively.
But what do you mean? As in, like, to get a spot on like an open mic, like a poetry lineup, or do you mean
to
like?
just, to technically start doing the thing?
Oh, okay.
But before we talk about that,
Yes.
before we get started, just want to acknowledge the custodians of the land, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. It's very important to understand and keep acknowledging that we are conducting ourselves, gathering on stolen land where treaties have never been signed, sovereignty has never been ceded. You know, as I keep saying, every podcast, Australia is the only country in the Commonwealth that hasn't signed a treaty with the First Nations people, which is a good, obviously. We're very lucky to come here and, for poetry or wherever we are doing events and whatnot. Very lucky to be guests on this land and be able to share our stories and speak our truths. But so many First Nations people have had their voices and stories of truth silenced throughout history and even up until this day. And also I just want to acknowledge the Palawa people of Lutruwita, which is the First Nations people of Tasmania, where I unfortunately grew up.
Do you say fortunately or
Unfortunately,
unfortunately?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So you had 2 muffins today.
I had 2 muffins today. I had 3 muffins yesterday.
Is
Yes.
this a long run? Like you started with like 14 and now you got slowly working your way
Well, I
back?
made the muffins.
Oh, okay, I see.
I've had a few really good batches recently. Yesterday I had the worst banana I've ever had in my life, and today I had maybe like the 3rd worst or something. So
I like how you're ranking them. I like how you just...
What made the worst banana of your life?
it was very hard to get into.
Well, you can stop if you want to.
No, it was very hard.
emotionally unavailable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't want to talk about it.
It was physically very difficult to get inside the banana.
Was it ripe?
No, I guess not.
Yeah.
It's on me, really. It was a green banana.
That banana had
It's
places.
not you, it's me. Yeah.
Yeah.
That banana was going somewhere
Yeah.
and you struck
Yeah.
it down in the prime of its life.
But anyway,
Nearly its promised life.
Nearly the prime of its life.
yeah. Oh well.
What was the best banana you had?
Oh, I don't remember that. I don't actually like bananas very much, but I just keep eating them because they're so handy to have on the go. I love something that you can just chuck in your bag. So I'm a bit like that with carrots as well. So I had a carrot yesterday. I had a carrot today. But yesterday I had the carrot and I was at a gig, which is at a cinema. It's called, is it Lido or Lido? I can't remember. Lido, I think, cinemas anyway.
Yeah.
And I was there in the Hawthorne kind of area. And I thought I better wash this carrot before I eat it. So I pulled it out of my bag and I went into the bathroom with the carrot. And then when I got into the bathroom, I was like, shit, the gig's about to start and I really need to piss. And I don't have time to wash the carrot, take it back to the, I had to do both in the one. So I had to quickly go into the toilet and have a piss. And so I had to put the carrot in my mouth, sort of like a corn on the cob, and just like that, and then sit on the toilet, do my piss, and then get up and then like wash my hands. But then everyone's like watching me go in and out of the toilet with this carrot that I'd washed before going in. So they must have thought I was a bit strange. And then I washed it again when I came out because I thought, well, now I've had it in the toilet. So anyway, it must have looked very odd. But they must have thought, God, she's efficient. 'Cause I wasn't in there long. So
I can't say I've done much consumption of food while on the toilet. Perhaps missing out.
I love a carrot in the shower. Again,
Carrot in the
I
shower.
don't really like carrots either, but I just keep eating them.
So it's just convenience. Are you a foodie? Are you like big on food besides muffins?
I love food, but I'm very poor and very bad at cooking.
Right. So bananas and carrots.
I do end up just eating a lot of raw foods.
Are they all like long foods or?
I don't like long foods, but I do eat a lot of them.
You've chosen the 2 longest of the vegetables and the fruits.
Well, I quite like a small carrot. I buy snackable
I like
carrots.
the little baby ones.
Yeah.
They're crunchier though as well.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I keep getting a lot of soft
Yeah.
Long carrots.
I think you should have a carrot in one pocket and a banana in one pocket, depending on the volume of the area that you're in. Because as soon as you mentioned a theatre, my first thought was that like you're trying to snack on a carrot, but it's dead silent theatre production.
True.
Perhaps a one person
Celery
show.
is longer than carrots.
Celery is longer than
Yeah.
carrots. It gets cut down a lot though, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, sometimes. Depends. You can get them in the smaller packet. Do you like celery?
Not really. And celery's not giving you much. It's mostly water.
That's true. I once juiced a lettuce on that note, just because.
Juiced a
Just
lettuce.
to see if you could.
I was a young boy, and I tried it. And it's just dirty.
mean,
water.
I guess
Boys will be boys.
More boys should be juicing their lettuce.
They should be.
Keep them busy.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if my parents had a juicer, I'd be like, what
the fuck can I put in here? Yeah.
2 o'clock in the morning, what am I juicing?
Yeah. True.
Unripe bananas. You can't juice, but you can, no.
You can juice a banana. You just need a lot of them.
Well, the trouble with
You juice anything.
That's true.
the trouble with an unripe banana is it leaves a very flowery taste in the
Yes,
mouth.
That's
absolutely.
true.
So anyway,
No good. Freddie, you have been, first of all, a very hard-working comedian. You've been doing
thank
tons
you.
of bloody gigs, and you've been.
I don't usually hear hardworking and comedian in the same sentence, so that's really great.
Comedians, as far as I'm aware, as far as I can see from social media, maybe you're just more all chronically online than everybody else, or you're actually hitting more gigs in one night than any other.
I think
creative.
comedians tend to have a very unhealthy work-life balance, and
I've noticed that.
I have
Yeah.
seen much evidence of that.
and there's also a very, I don't know, I've only been doing it for a year and a half, but it's very quickly become apparent to me that there's a very blurry line between kind of work and play,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
course.
And it's sort of like I was talking to my little brother about it, and he said something about, I was talking about having to go on this like trip with some other comedians. We all went
Yep.
to Bendigo together. Laughs in the Ghetto, shout out, was quite
Yep.
fun. But my little brother said to me like, oh, do you think of them as colleagues or friends? And I was like, it's just so blurry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
It makes it way harder. I mean, I think same as working in the poetry scene or working in any probably any place in the arts, especially if it's
I
if
think
it's live
so.
music, or if it's live arts.
Performance.
It makes it really hard, especially then to check your own work-life balance. The relationships are difficult, but just noticing checking your workload is nigh impossible at times.
The other thing is, someone was saying to me the other day that like it's kind of hard for some people to really jump into something like comedy because you're going out at times that other people would normally be socializing.
Yeah, totally.
But for me, it's kind of been fine because I didn't have any friends before
That helps. That does
comedy.
help.
So now every time I go to a gig, it's just like, oh, I'm hanging out with my friends.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it blurs the line even more, but it does mean that I have a lot of time to just be a comedian.
I think that's the same for us in terms of we've had friends at different points in our lives, as I'm sure that you have as well at various points in your life. But it definitely I've always been annoyed though when people they think of like real friendship as like, oh, I had all my friends back in school and we were that was a real tight friendship, or like, oh, I only hang out with the people from work or something like that. It's like that's just how friendships work. It's just who's in your proximity. And for people like, I'm just going to put this to all of us, but for people like us that I think probably struggle a little bit to socialize in quote unquote normal situations, then to find a job, I'm going to put job in quotation marks as well, a job that then also kind of does a lot of the socializing for you and gives you an in and gives you something to do rather than just sit at the table and be like, well, how was work?
Yeah.
How's
What did
the
you do
kids?
last night after we saw each other yesterday? Like you've got if you're at the office, and you're like, hi, like what did you do last night when you went home?
We talk about the shows that we watch.
Yeah,
or something
like what
that.
did you do? Yeah, sort of like, okay, they're seeing you 5 days a week. It sort of doesn't leave.
Well, it made it very obvious to me when because I sort of only started comedy a year and a half ago, but then once I started doing it, I now spend a lot of time, like 5 or 6 nights a week with other comedians. And I didn't realize how much I'd found a sense of kind of belonging with these people until I went to speed dating, and it was queer speed dating. So I thought, oh yeah, these are kind of my people, you know what I mean? And then I got there, they were the most neurotypical fucking bunch of people you've ever met in your life.
Been in a room of NPs.
Oh my gosh.
No, NTs.
NTs. I was sitting there. People would come and sit across from me and they'd be like, oh, so tell me about yourself. And I was like, well, I'm mentally ill. And then they would just horrified.
If they don't laugh at that, if not, you go, you're not my people.
No, I was like, please move along or I'll get to the next one.
Yeah.
It was shocking.
Well, they call it spicy for a reason. You want some flavor. You want some salt and pepper and paprika.
That's why poetry is good.
Yeah, it's the same.
Well, especially,
very
our
similar
night,
crowd. Very similar kind of crowd of people.
I couldn't, I think I wouldn't know what to do with speed dating, I don't think.
Oh, I hated it. And I said I hated it. And I think people didn't like that either. Because I think there's also this thing with, like, I'm also very new to being in the queer community as well. And
big year.
Big year. Big year for a little lady. But it was like, I don't know.
Is that the name of your tour?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. That was... I just have realised that I'm sort of maybe too cynical for other queer women or something, because people were sitting down opposite me and I was going, well, this is shit, isn't it? It's bloody freezing. And they were just like, I think it's really nice. And I was like, okay.
What a dead end. What a dead end.
Have a little whinge with me. If you can't have a whinge with me, I'm not interested.
People love a whinge, but I guess they like they like their little anchor points, which is, I guess...
It's that sort of that social thing too. It's like, you have to kind of be, you don't want to be too cynical and stuff when you first meet someone.
The annoying thing was, I think I was saying what everyone else was thinking.
Yeah, of course. That's why the artist gets popped up on the pedestal.
Yeah.
And put up on the stage and say, that's your space.
Yeah.
This is where we're all going to hang out and have a good time.
Yeah.
And talk about whatever the fuck we talk about.
Well, the only time I was subject to a singles night was pre a gig that we used to do. I was there.
Yeah.
I wasn't participating. I was just
what?
No. Before.
Were you in the cupboard or something? Or you were watching?
Before Project Legacy.
Oh, so it was something that was on before your gig and you were there?
Yeah, Rye was there.
Oh.
Yeah, fuck's sake.
I was there.
Yes.
I also was not participating.
We
were in the cupboard together.
They double booked the thing, and so there was a singles night beforehand, and it was just...
Have we spoken about that on this podcast?
No, I don't think so.
But now that venue's closed down, I just want to have a bit of a fucking gripe.
Okay, let's do it.
We were running an event.
Okay, you go then.
We were running an event that was going to start...
It's called something else now.
The venue?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I think
when Freddie Doke was a thing, we were running an event and it was going to start at 7. Doors were at 7:30.
Doors were
Show starts at 8. And they had double booked, and so that they had a singles night start at 6:30, running until 10 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
And upstairs isn't the biggest of areas.
It's a tiny
and
fucking
so it
hole
was.
in the wall.
They had 3 long tables, like what do you call them? Long
trestles.
Yeah, trestles, like that, filled with
like King Arthur.
Sort of thing. They were
long
filled
table.
with like
critters
and chicken wings.
Critters.
What's that?
Finger food.
Oh.
And very horribly over-salted chicken wings and stuff. I had one because someone said they're really gross.
Yeah.
Because I think someone was there like, okay, well, they're free. So I think one of the artists or something talked. Anyway, sorry, you want to continue?
Oh, that's really it. It was just this massive back and forth of like, they're like, well, we're going to run until 10 because that's when we
So they ran until 9.
Yeah.
No, they ran until 9. So we just started playing. We started our first, which is kind of all right because we had a decent crowd there.
Except that they had packed out this venue with singles, and our customers, the people who had come to the show, were lined up outside at 8 o'clock, and there was already a line and a bouncer because like the place is full, you can't get in.
Yeah.
Because there's too many goddamn
I had someone
singles.
message me, was like, oh yeah, we're waiting out. The only thing, because they kept going, and the 2 people running it weren't a fan of us at all.
No.
Ray even was like, hey, do you want to like, we help it. Like, do you want to like announce that there's a gig afterwards? And they were like,
okay.
we maybe. I'm like,
it's a thing to do. A bunch of single people.
So basically,
give them some
it
music.
was just my experience with it was just like, okay, everyone across the table or whatever, and then like, okay, now we're going to move this way, or we're going to talk about this and that. I'm like, oh, it just was like so...
It just sounds like it was the perfect opportunity to combine the 2 events, because the problem that I had with the speed dating that I went to was that it kind of just ended and it was like, oh, like, you know what, then we've got to organise our own dates. And
that was kind of what it was up there too. It was
Yeah.
sort of, they stopped and then were like, thank you all for coming, mingle, And I'm like, you didn't really.
And then a show started, so it kind of worked out that we were there to do something.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and people stayed for an hour-ish, you know. But yeah, it was the same thing. It sort of finished. It was like,
you should do like a singles night, and then like part of the night is you're all on a bus drinking cocktails, getting to know each other, and then you end at a bowling alley and say, all right, that's it, we're done. But now you're already at a bowling alley. You've got a thing to do. I don't know if bowling's the right.
Teams, so you can team up. You know,
that's true.
So if none of us are into speed dating, how are we all dating, or are we not dating?
Yeah, I'm dating.
Oh.
I met them at work, so it's like.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have to.
What sort of work?
Making coffee.
Making coffee. That's nice. Because the advice I get constantly. Is. Can we swear?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. The advice that I get constantly is, don't fuck the other comedians, and I'm like, oh
sure.
Jesus.
Sure.
is that the voice?
That's all,
It's someone's
that's
voice.
the Melbourne
I don't want to
comedian
say
voice.
who, but
Yeah,
or maybe it's my internal voice, just being like, stop doing that.
You sound like Roz from.
She's my favourite character from Monsters Inc.
I know I can't do it.
I've heard the same advice about poets. Like, don't sleep with other poets, or don't sleep with other musos in the band, in the music scene, or what have you. And it's like, this is our social scene.
Exactly.
So sleep with the fuck. Where the fuck are we supposed to go?
And then you have the issue where then you meet someone outside of it, and then you. What's going on?
Sorry.
Are you okay?
He gets sweaty.
Oh, I thought you burnt yourself, and I was like, oh god, how'd you do that?
The mic's hot. Sorry. I forgot I was around people.
Well, yeah.
This is why I'm single. No.
Oh, you're single.
Yes.
That's not the reason.
Let's not
Can
go
I
there.
touch your coat?
You find if you meet someone that isn't in those scenes, isn't a creative at all.
Yeah.
And they're like, what the fuck are we supposed to talk about?
I know.
What the fuck do we do?
It's terrible.
Yeah. I think it makes sense. I think maybe if you're working in an office or something like that, and it's like, we both see each other every single fucking day. That's maybe a bit of a nightmare. But if you're working in the arts, or if you're working in anything that is you're passionate about, then it probably makes sense that you're going to be connecting with the people that you are working with.
Yeah, and they're also passionate about the same things.
That's what I picked up at that singles night was the people running it. No, it was like there was just such a. It seemed like a forced. There was just like everyone, like they were so over the top. Because I walked upstairs, like, hi, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm literally. There's a big poster called Project Legacy. I'm like, oh, I'm here to MC this at this time. They're like, oh, and they were just like this artificial.
Yeah.
Like if I was around, I'm like, all right, fuckers, go talk for 5 minutes. I'll be back. Anyone want to fuck each other yet? No, okay, keep talking.
Yeah,
but this was like,
He'll come. Don't you worry.
Have a few more drinks, and he will look hot. Kind of, sort of thing. It was just such this. Okay, well, now we're going to talk about pets or something. Like it was just.
Do you remember any of the questions they asked?
Oh, I was too angry.
Yeah, because I hated the
Rhath saw my face. No, that was a different thing. Don't worry. I was angry. No, I can't even. No, it was.
I was sitting in the room during because I got there early, and I was sitting at a table with them all because I just sat down at the back.
Because I was on the way there. Right, I was like, just warning you. I'm at the and I'm like, I don't know where to sit. I was like trying to. Yeah.
I think it was like desert island kind of questions. Yeah. Like if you were stuck on a desert island.
Yeah. Because it was this. And I'm like, how is this conducive to? It was like people like here, like really like shoulder to shoulder. I'm like, how are you supposed to talk to someone like this when you've got someone?
Well, that was part of the problem with the one that I was at. Was the person next to me was maybe the only neurodiverse person there, but like.
And now we're married.
Yeah, but I think like we were very different. Well, they were on something, and they were just tripping out of their head because.
I thought you meant they were on their meds and they were smooth day. Like it was really boring.
They were just like, "Hi, my name's Sophie," and I was like, "Did you come to the wrong event? Like, what is this? I don't know. It was bizarre." And then I've got
it's a great fucking idea. Getting fucked up and then go to speed dating.
That would be a good premise for a speed date. Everyone has to be on something.
Well, yeah, that would have been much better. But
you can't advertise that. Anyway, sorry.
Can you advertise that?
I don't know.
You could in some countries.
Hey, everyone, take a list of drugs.
Well, you're not giving them the acid.
Can you encourage people to take drugs before? I don't know. What's the
take
law
drugs?
On that?
I encourage
what's
you to
the
take
law
drugs.
On that? We wouldn't. I don't know.
Berlin would do it.
Don't take drugs. Pay for them. That's a joke. So yes, interesting human being.
Yeah, just really annoying. And then I have sciatica, which is a terrible nerve pain in the hip or whatever. And we were sharing the same bench on one of these long trestle tables. And every time they sort of like did this, it was like sending a jolt through my body.
Yeah.
Oh, shocking.
Wait, were you side by side?
Side by side.
Oh, no.
That was
Oh, you had to
awful.
talk to someone side by side?
No, opposite.
Okay.
But then it was because this person was very loud as well.
Oh, right. You were talking to somebody else.
I was talking to someone
dating with
opposite
somebody
me,
else,
but then the
next to you
person
is
next to me was just
Jiving.
very loud and
sending jolts down your spine.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, okay, I'm having a conversation with you, but also I can hear 16 other people.
Yeah.
Like,
It wasn't very. I guess it wasn't very accessible in that sense.
Yeah.
It was also cold as a bloody frog.
the age old, yeah.
Yeah.
Frog's cold.
Buddha said that, I think it was.
Are they warm-blooded or cold-blooded?
Cold, they're amphibians.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was more of a personality trait.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sort
so
of-
we didn't really click. They're more of a frog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a diverse.
I wonder if
group
it's
of
a
animals.
thing about French people.
Oh, that actually makes a lot more sense.
That does make sense, doesn't it?
Well, probably almost
not
with,
what I meant,
with
but-
most sayings, if you tie it back to something racist or prejudice, you're like, oh,
Xenophobic,
makes
yeah.
way more sense.
Let's not go down that road.
French have a reputation, unearned, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean they're getting their revolution on again. So
No, do you know what it is though?
Yeah.
Look,
About the French.
no, because have you been to France? Because
No.
I don't think it's France. It's Paris. Paris is the
Sure.
inner Paris is like
Yeah.
the look. And there's probably some lovely Parisians that I met while I was there. But
comment below if you're a lovely Parisian.
I definitely don't watch
but
this show.
How dare you?
but yeah, it's just there's just a bit of a sort of like Paris is better than the rest of
Yeah.
France, and it's like come on.
And then there's loads of France, which is just
France.
bogans, or just the French version of bogans, just like any other country.
Yeah.
If you think it's a posh place, same as England. Like English media portrays everyone as really pompous and posh, and then you go to I think more now it's not so much, but like
I don't know. I don't.
that's how I.
I don't watch
because
watch mainstream media and the reptiles that run it.
I
so,
guess I'm
you know.
thinking. Okay, I guess I'm thinking of like nature documentaries and shit like that, or the BBC News, what have you. And then
Well, because you don't want poor people talking to you on TV.
I do not.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want poor people talking
You
to
want
me
the rich and the
anytime.
elite telling you what's
you know it's a
happening in the
cool
world.
show actually.
Put a stop to yeah.
And I think her name is Michaela Cole, and the show is called Chewing Gum.
Okay.
She had another show like later on called I Will Destroy You.
Mm-hmm.
But the first show, and that's like quite a heavy going, like some really hard topics. Like I actually couldn't watch it because I was like, this is too much for me. But the first show, Chewing Gum, is just like the most bizarre, funny, ridiculous thing you've ever seen. I loved it so much. And it's just like set all on like a London council flat. Someone's calling me. Who's this?
Bring him on.
Oh, no. No. no.
I turn into a grandma sometimes.
No.
Have you seen any situations blow up in the comedy scene where somebody is fucking another comic and everything just turns to shit?
Have I seen a comic fuck another comic?
Have you?
Live on stage. Where's that show?
That
advice-
improv show went too far.
Yeah. It would be the Improvers, actually.
The advice doesn't come from nowhere. Like when people say, "Dear, don't," have you seen any total collapses of a
I'm
relationship?
guessing it's like some people, because this is actually the advice I got was, don't fuck any of the other comics. Oh, the other women are fine, but just not the men. And I was like,
right.
yeah, all right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Because what I'm assuming is it's the thing of like, the guy then goes away and like brags about it to everyone, or maybe like writes a really horrible joke about it.
Oh, sure.
But I don't know. I mean,
That would be probably just a. Actually, is it a problem for comics or a problem just for creatives in general? Of like
potentially, yeah.
you would have that in the back of your head just during any
But
relationship.
then I just
of
thought like
this is all material.
it's a weird
isn't
one
it?
as well, because it's like I feel like for music, it's kind of like, oh, that's just that person like working it out and expressing themselves and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
I wonder if it's because they can sort of hide it a lot more.
Oh,
I don't
absolutely.
know. Anyway, but
you can hide so much in music. You get.
Yeah.
I think working more in the poetry scene now, and seeing more comedy. Music you can fucking hide everything. People don't. Well, people don't listen to lyrics for a start. So like, there's nothing that you can just say, oh, this is a cool groove. And the lyrics are about my ex is a piece of shit and here's all the reasons. And it's like, it seems inappropriate.
As long as you put it to a funky beat, people are like,
yeah.
That's so many songs. How many fucking songs are there about like, oh, my woman doesn't listen to me. My woman doesn't do this. But it's a funky track. That's Anderson .Paak's entire fucking career.
When we were growing up as kids, all the songs that now you listen to the lyrics severely, like really sexual or violent stuff, and we were just like, vibe along to it.
Do you know what? Do you know what's the one that's the opposite of that? Who Let the Dogs Out? That's actually about like how like who's letting these men be assholes, basically.
Oh shit!
As far as like it's actually just like who let these dogs out? Like stop. Talking about women like this kind of thing. Yeah. Anyway,
it's all this.
Shaggy, we listened to that.
Yeah.
Shaggy
wasn't me.
Wasn't me. Yeah.
I don't know.
So he got caught having sex with someone, and
that's a weird. I used to sing that a lot when I was a kid.
Even caught me on camera.
The other
wasn't
one,
me.
The other one that's
the whole thing is denying it. Yeah. Anyway, yes.
Really horrible one, and I was very upset by this because I started learning ukulele a few years ago.
Sorry. I've done it.
It was the era. It was the ukulele era. Yeah.
I've owned a very nice ukulele in my lifetime, so I'm not worried.
I love it. It's a great instrument. But anyway,
it's an instrument. I'll give you that.
There was a ukulele orchestra in my hometown, and I've been bombarded.
Another reason to go to Castlemaine.
Yeah, go to Castlemaine. Go see the orchestra.
Sorry.
Oh, I am going there soon for comedy, actually.
Nice. Where are you going?
Women of Wit is the event.
Cool. What's the venue?
I can't remember.
Yeah, great.
Castlemaine Comedy.
Castlemaine. But it's a great town.
Yeah. I'm excited
Castlemaine Comedy Club. Anyway.
But anywho,
so
I wanted to learn the song, and I can't even remember the name of the song, but the line is, let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel.
Bloodhound Gang? Yeah.
I know.
You and me, baby, and nothing but animals. So let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channels.
Disgusting. Yeah. I don't know so much about the lyrics, but the music video is revolting.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that was
problematic, or just like
dragging a woman and dragging her off over the shoulder. Like, as in, like,
it came out. It was a hit. It was a big hit when probably I was about 12, 13. So it was just. Like early 2000s, I think. Oh, yeah, Bloodhound Gang. I remember the song, and it was like, oh, this is funny because the cover art was two zebras mating or something like that, and they're like, we can't have
that. Rings the bell.
Yeah. So they were like, no, we can't have that. So their whole thing was controversy. And same as when Eminem came out with that song. Was it Slim Shady? And it's like, I'm gonna staple his nuts to the paper, and like it was just provocative. Whatever it is, I put 9-inch nails to each one of his eyelids, and it was just provocative. And we're like, oh, this is funny. And then you're realizing it's not the best.
I love seeing musicians like that now. Eminem is the best example of like people who were edgy 20 years ago, and they're still trying to be edgy.
He's gone back to it now. Yeah.
He just had a new song come out.
Abracadabra.
Houdini. But the fucking
he just had Houdini come because Dua Lipa had a song Houdini.
Oh really?
Yeah. Houdini. Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking bizarre.
Anyway,
the hook is a rip off of.
Yep.
Not rip off. It's a
sample.
Parody.
No,
it's a parody of
an
homage to Abracadabra. I can't remember who originally did that. But it's just the whole fucking track is basically like, oh, I was edgy then, and I'm kind of edgy now, and just like
Gen Z don't know what they're talking about.
It's like some transgender fucking jokes and stuff.
Oh, there's one about the cat thing. I was like, yeah, okay.
It's like, You were edgy 20 years ago.
Talking about Megan Stallion getting shot in the foot.
There's so many edgier people now. This doesn't hit anymore. This isn't. Is just.
Mate, you're 52.
This is an old man screaming at clouds.
Can you fucking imagine getting shot in the foot and then everyone
It'd suck.
But then people just like mocking you about it. It's just it's disgusting.
I mean, his wordplay is still fun, but it's just stupid.
Sure.
Sorry, not fun. It's.
Yeah, it's like 10.
I'm like. Yeah, it is still. It's clever, but it's like not funny. Like it's like okay, in a way. I don't enjoy it, but I appreciate like I wouldn't be able to have that kind of wordplay.
It was a very exciting thing to happen again 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I've used this analogy many times, but there was the 4-minute mile where people that was a kind of a record that people were trying to break. I think this was like the 60s or 40s or something like that. Can't remember when it was. The 4-minute mile. People were trying to run a mile in 4 minutes, and they were trying, and no one could fucking do it. And then one guy did it, and then the next year, 4 other people did it. And it's been studied, this proven effect of like, once it happens the first time, there's that mental barriers gone. You're like, oh, that can be done. It's like watching any, watching, I don't watch NBA, but seeing like Michael Jordan come through, completely change how the game is played. The rules are changed to adapt their play style. And then everyone else.
It's like when Steve Kerr took over the Golden State Warriors, and they changed from the big men in the paint, and it was changed to more of a 3-point shooting game. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh God, you have really? Yeah. Is that all technical jargon?
Yeah.
That
So
makes sense?
So when Steph Curry started playing, and he was a 3-point shooter, he's really good at it. So when Kerr, who used to play with the Bulls and with Michael Jordan, just to tie it in,
I've been called out. I don't want to hear. I don't.
So
understand.
they changed the way that basketball's played, and so now the big men can also shoot threes now too. So it used to be big men. I'll stop now. I just wanted to know that.
I don't.
I like sport. I like sports and poetry.
Well played, sir. I don't know what the fuck you just said.
Because Shaquille O'Neal couldn't shoot. Right. Anyway. So yes, but how Michael enjoyed it.
It's fun the first time. It doesn't mean as much the second time. 20 years later. That's my point.
Okay, I was also going to say
what were we on before Eminem?
The 1 minute mile.
None of them.
4-minute mile.
Songs, dating.
Anyone
mentally ill?
Oh.
Please diagnose.
No, I am the picture of mental health. Good mental health.
How many you got?
How many letters you got? It's in your poem.
I've only been diagnosed with 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, you don't have to start with that. Yeah. I've got 5.
5.
That's annoying.
It feels like we're showing hands in a poker game.
Yeah.
And I've
just got a pair.
I've come up snake eyes.
You got
I'm playing the wrong game.
Yeah.
Full house or royal flush?
Royal flush.
Royal flush. Royal flush would be very specific things, I think. Yeah. This is very, comment below how many mental illnesses you've been diagnosed with.
I've got depression, anxiety.
Yeah, but everyone
PTSD.
has that.
Yeah, I know. I'm really annoyed about it because.
Yeah, it's boring now. I've got those. Yeah.
It is really annoying because, I don't know. Now I feel like I've got to collect more edgy ones in order to be kind of relevant and like.
I'm thinking about overdose or something, so it scrambles my brain just to have more content.
Yeah. OCD?
No.
No. I've got OCD.
Oh, I thought that sounded like
what do you
got autism, so I don't understand. Yeah.
What do you think?
You understand inflection?
Sometimes. Depends on anyway.
What do you think of OCD?
I just think people are looking for
attention.
attention.
Think of OCD?
Whoa!
What did you say?
People are looking for attention. Well, that's
just get over it. It doesn't have to be straight.
It is probably one of the ones that is most commonly self-diagnosed.
But it is tied in with, I think it would be tied in with anxiety too.
Well,
sure.
Very commonly, it's a doubt disorder, anxiety disorder. Yeah. It's very commonly misdiagnosed. It's one of the most underdiagnosed ones, but it's also apparently one of the most treatable, which is frustrating. But I've got that, and then I've also got PTSD, which is not that fun, to be honest. There's not much you can.
I don't think any of these are fun.
OCD, I think I find it interesting.
Depends on the type of OCD.
Well, I mean, I used to think
there's crippling OCD.
Oh yeah, I've got it bad. It's intense all the time. I've had it since I was 8. I don't remember not having it. So it's kind of treatment is kind of difficult because it's kind of like I don't know what is the OCD and what isn't kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I thought for years that I was gonna one day just sort of end up having sex with my dog. And that was a big fear.
So speed dating didn't go well for you. I can't imagine why.
If we don't laugh, we cry.
I was terrified. I was like, I would be really hard. Sometimes I'd be left home alone with the dog and I was like, oh God, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? And nothing happened because I did not want to have sex with that dog. I was just scared that I wanted to.
I guess. So scared of the intrusive thoughts? And
intrusive thoughts.
Yeah, okay, interesting.
Yeah, which is quite a common one actually.
Yeah. It's a good one to maybe explain further.
It is, it's good, isn't it? Yeah. I think so. That's true.
I think you should open with that next time.
Yeah.
During the.
Well, like talking of PTSD, the annoying thing is like autism have basically the same. Shares basically the same traits as PTSD.
Yeah.
So if you're born with autism and never had anything bad happen to you, you still have the same. Like, your brain still reacts the same way.
Is that like the hypersensitivity?
Like lack of speech sometimes. Reaction. ADHD is reactionary stuff. So it's like you're just born with PTSD without actually having anything happen to you.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a really annoying.
Or if you're born with autism and then have a bad thing happen, everything gets linked back to that.
Yeah.
Whereas
I mean,
maybe
I only had it since 24, so yeah, I got diagnosed 24. So before then,
is that when you first got vaccine?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
well, I maybe also have. That's the next one I'm going to check for is autism.
Good luck.
But
No, I mean, like it's nearly impossible now because every man and his dog wants to fucking get diagnosed now.
yeah, well, I don't know.
And every creative has ADHD, so like.
Yeah. Well, the other night, a comic was on stage and they were like, "Hey, does anyone?" They're like, "Oh, I've got ADHD. Anyone else got ADHD?" And no one said anything. And then they went, "Freddie?" And I was like, "Hi." I just was like, "What?" Anyway, and then the other one that's potentially, this one's a little bit like the therapist was like, "Look."
Oh, you go to therapy?
Of course I go to therapy.
I forgot people do that.
Every fortnight. Anyway, but the therapist
Same
was
here.
like,
It's called poetry. Anyway, sorry.
the therapist was just like, look, can't sort of say for sure, but I reckon you might have borderline personality disorder. And I was like, ka-ching.
Yeah, you're
you're
getting the Holy Trinity right there, sort of thing.
But then I talked about this the other night at a gig. I talked about it the other night at a gig, and because I want the validation, because I'm like, I feel really fucked in the head.
I feel very
But then the
borderline.
depression just doesn't quite sort of like really get the message across, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then, I talked about it the other night at a gig, and I was like, yeah, I got OCD, and someone just said, not very good. And I was like, what? They're like, oh, it's just not a very good mental illness.
Sorry.
And I was like, well, what's your favorite mental illness then? And he was just
That's
like,
a good question. That's a great question.
and he says,
I'm using that tonight.
he says, oh, schizophrenia is the best.
I mean,
I agree.
And I was like, you know what? Yeah, all right.
yeah,
Not wrong.
yeah, a little bit, yeah. I used to support someone with schizophrenia.
I mean, I just was like, I can't compete with that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
To have a little tie back to where we started, because the difference perhaps of going from try and date creatives versus what we call them? What were they called?
NTs.
NTs. Is that even if you're not spicy or at least diagnosed spicy, then you're around a bunch of people who will
No, that's my other one. I forgot about it. I've also got a tic disorder. He just came out, probably because I didn't mention him.
Okay.
Oh, God. Anyway, sorry, keep going.
can't tell what's a bit and what's not a bit.
It's definitely not a bit.
Being around a bunch of people who understand that everyone has a different brain and they work differently and actually give each other that space.
Sorry.
Whereas NTs, if you have a formula that you have to follow. Even though I'm sure so many people in the quote unquote normal real world are really good at masking. They have figured out all the tricks. They understand the playbook. They're just reading their lines and everyone's like, normalest dude in the fucking world. And then in this kind of environment, you're just like, be fucking weird. Just let it all out. Be a human being.
Yeah, it's like the first time I ever did community theatre, and I was like, goodness me, where did all these people come from? You know, like they obviously like... I'd never seen so many people licking each other's faces in one space.
Yeah. I've been in plays where that's happened, but...
You said licking faces?
There was a lot of face licking, yes.
In community...
Well, look, just the one that I was at. I was just like...
What, like, did you say theatre?
Theatre, yes,
okay.
yes.
Yeah.
I wasn't mocking you, by the way. I just had trouble saying it. Theatre.
That's fine.
Well, because I grew up in Mildura, which is like a very sport sort of focused town.
Thriving metropolis.
Yeah.
Is Mildura.
And so then
Never been, but
when
You're not wrong.
you then have a kind of community theatre space, all the people that don't fit in the sports sector just go absolutely off their chops in the
just face
community theatre space. Oh my
Every
God.
s-
Face
ev-
looking, yes.
every Sunday night.
And then that
Just-
was the thing that I found really hard because I was like, oh, finally there's somewhere that I belong because I'm not one of the sporty people. And then I went into this community theatre and I was like, I don't belong here either. And that was quite frightening because I was like, I know this is the art spaces where I'm meant to sort of find my people, and I just didn't for a really long time.
I've just had a harrowing image of just like 20 people in a room and look at each other's face. You walk in the door, that's like, come join us.
That's what it was like.
Not for me.
Sorry, no, I'm not hungry. Thank
Too
you.
much physical
Nah,
contact.
it really
So-
wasn't. Anyway, and then when I started doing stand-up comedy, I was like, oh, I'm not. Well, I mean, maybe I am a nutcase, but like I'm a nutcase that belongs with some other nutcases. You know what I mean? So
Well, that's there. You just notice if you're the quote unquote nutcase, and you're like, you find the other people, and you're like, oh, actually,
yeah,
I could survive this world when you're around. Because having conversations with people who already understand, the regular quote unquote normal social whatever.
yeah.
Like you're talking about saying like I was complaining and being cynical, and I'm like, oh, I think it's perfectly fine. You're just like, you're allowed to just complain. Like, oh no, I'm on a first date, so I have to do X, Y, Z. I'm like, so that's what, like, if I talk to people and within the first 10 or so minutes, so you talk to somebody like, you are not responding in any way interestingly, I'm like, well, we're not going to get along because I'm like, I'm not going to be able to keep up a regular conversation. I'm going to quickly divert into something chaotic, as you can attest to. This is not going to work. So
I just find that I'm just trying to say something a lot of the time, and people are getting so sad.
that's the thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
trauma bonding with
annoying.
people. It's
Yeah.
you're just like.
But I'm just trying to have a giggle. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I'm just
that's
like,
the other thing too. You try to say stuff, you're like,
yeah.
it's the same as like poetry. People say some stuff, and then you go up the head of them and like,
Yeah.
can you not cry behind the mic, please? Like it's a joke, and you're like, please take it well. They take. I'm like, cool, because you don't need 6 people, 7 people go up to you like, oh, I really like it, blah blah blah. It's
Yeah.
like you
Oh
need
my
someone just to be like,
God.
it's good, but like, can you just tone down the emotions next time? That sort of thing.
Yeah, a bit of-
No, I wouldn't do it to a first time.
No.
Yeah, but like you can't. You just
Yeah.
Trial by fire.
yeah. Most people come back, but
Yeah. Yep.
But you feel like you've found some semblance of community now.
found your people.
Oh yes, definitely. No, it's just weird that I just kind of really focused on a penis that's drawn on the wall as I was saying that, or maybe a dildo. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a strap on.
Oh, strap on.
Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah.
It sits behind me every time
it's
I
a lot.
poetry. Yeah.
It's a lot going on, but
It's never been commented on by anyone else.
really,
No.
that amazes me.
Not the podcast, but a couple of people have.
Oh,
sure.
right.
Not on the
Yeah.
podcast.
There is a very alluring
Yeah.
picture.
Well,
painted
the
over
lovely
there.
breasts. But I did a gig one night
Fantastic.
at this place.
Cracker. Yeah.
Have you been to 29th apartment? It's all
No.
decked out to look like an apartment. And
Yeah.
there's a big fish tank. And it's just got this dildo in it. And I just, what is the fish thinking? Probably nothing, I guess.
Yeah, I
It's just
don't
like-
think he's just.
They
I
don't,
think they
yeah,
understand.
True.
don't think they understand
No,
the human anatomy that well.
they don't feel objectified or whatnot, I suppose. What, do they even have a penis, a fish, does it?
No,
Oh,
they-
this is one of my favourite topics is
Fish sticks.
animal genitals.
No, do fish don't fish like lay eggs and then spawn like
They do,
Yeah, they lay the eggs and then the man just like comes all over them.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
with a penis or
No,
not?
Oh, sure. Very efficient though.
I just feel like
Much more than
like
trying to
like just like the doors
do
of
sex.
the doors in the it makes the sound of like the doors in Star Trek or Star Wars, just like and then it just dumps and then just
and
like
then
closes.
TIE fighters. come.
Little TIE fighters, and then
Do you-
impregnate the eggs.
Do you have
yeah.
a favourite animal penis? I've got one.
No, but I was watching
My dog.
Shout out.
I was watching a movie last night.
Sorry.
That was the most hard to watch film I think I've ever tried to watch, called Hard to Be a God. It's a 3-hour Russian sci-fi.
Of course you were.
sci-fi medieval kind of thing, and it's just everyone's covered in mud and shit for the entire thing, and nothing happens. And there was this lingering shot of a good 10 seconds of just an erect donkey's penis, and I was like,
yuck! And you wonder how they got that for the shot. Do you know what I mean?
I didn't.
They may have just
didn't. Then I think, yeah.
They may have just gotten lucky. Like, quick, get the camera, and they're like, okay,
Yeah,
let's
shoot.
just.
It feels like that kind of shoot, but it was like a 3-year-long fucking shoot as well. So maybe that was part.
That two of it was just waiting for the donkey.
of the donkey.
So we don't want to force him.
Consent.
You can actually get sex toys for dogs. Male dogs only, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's meant to be like this thing to for dogs that have anxiety, and then they end up humping everything because they're anxious. And then so you can get these toys, and I've looked it up a bit, and one of them is called the plush puppy. I think this is because there's different aesthetics. So you can get these really fancy ones, like Art Deco ones, and then you can get these more sort of cheapo ones, and then it just looks like a toy dog, but then it's just got really stiff legs, and then it's got a hole in the back.
Christ almighty.
And then it's got a rubber insert that the dog then, and then
I think you gotta clean it out.
you gotta clean it out. They got a video online of this woman showing how to clean it out.
Just chuck in the dishwasher.
And then you can also get it with an optional extras, right? And one of the optional extras is that the plush puppy makes a sound effect
No.
of a female dog in arousal.
You're on a Zoom call and that thing starts going off in the background.
But someone's had to record. Someone's either had to replicate the sound of an aroused
imagine
female
that.
dog, or
Get a voice
or just
actor.
gone just do it, and just filmed it, just recorded it, just going. I won't look. I won't look. Just
Or you can also get the optional addition of a bitch odor, and it releases the scent like a pheromone. But I think that's weird because that's not. If that's the case, you're not doing that for the dog because it's anxious. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of baiting it to use the toy.
yeah.
If it was already anxious, it would already be humping the fucking couch.
Yeah.
You didn't need all this.
Yeah.
It was gonna.
And then there's also, and this is the worst part, there are demonstration videos.
No.
I didn't watch them.
No, that's no.
Yeah, you did.
No.
No, I didn't. I didn't need to. But
Brought back too many memories of past
did.
relationships.
but my favourite animal penis or animal genitals.
Finish off the podcast, yeah.
Echidna.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Male
yeah.
echidna has a 4-pronged penis.
Yes, I've heard that.
I mean, duck does have a corkscrew one.
That was gonna be my
No,
answer.
I don't like the ducks. I don't like ducks as people. They just seem
I don't think many.
they're morally
awful.
reprehensible.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think. Yeah.
I think most water-bound birds are bastards.
Yeah.
Bastard waterbound birds. Bastardized bird.
Oh, that's a band.
The other thing I like about the
That's good.
echidna is that they have what's called a love train, and so the female echidna will just be going about her business, and if the males are keen, they line up behind her and they just follow around for the whole mating season. And
Sounds like a nightclub.
She can get up to 11 following her around at one time, and they just kind of I guess they'll sort of battle it out, or they'll just one of them get tired and drop off, and she just ended up she'll just mate with it. She will mate with whichever one is the last echidna standing.
I think that goes for human
Have
men
you-
as well. Just be the last one
Do you know about the
standing. you'll be
cuttlefish?
fine.
Cuttlefish.
Yeah.
Well, Cthulhu fish.
Yeah, or the Cthulhu.
The Cthulhu fish.
Cthulhu fish. I can't remember now, but the male will, because they can change colours real quickly. The male will look like a female, and to be
sneak.
kind of like the best friend of and then all of a sudden surprise, and or something like that. Yeah, basically it will look it will change its colour and stuff to look like a female cuttlefish. I
Wow.
think something like that.
So using
Disguise
the
itself.
friend zone
Yeah,
to his
and also
advantage.
so it wouldn't be battling other males to
Yeah, true.
to for stuff. He would be like, oh, I'm just a female, and then they have to fight off men. Like, no, not your type. And then I think that's something
Not
like
your
that. Yeah.
I think far edgier podcasts would find a connection to the human world in other ways.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, is he just a gay fish? Do you know what I mean?
Well, animals can be homosexual.
They can be, and I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. On that
And on that note,
note, gay fish exist.
Oh,
Get
actually,
over
do you
it.
know what? This is a good time for me to talk about my next show, which is a queer comedy show called Crackpot Comedy. It'll be at Wheat, Wine and Whiskey, 284 Smith Street on the 28th of June. That's a Friday. It starts at 8 p.m. Hey, how about you get some early bird tickets for only $5?
Right, we'll put all that stuff in the description, won't you?
Link is in the description.
Well, you can keep that.
Oh, thank you so much.
Music by Sixpence. And comment your favourite animal, genitalia. In the
Genitalia? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Animal, yes. Yes.
Yes, animal. No, actually, please don't.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
Come on.
maybe.
Also,
Anyway.
important gig to plug is that after this one comes out, we have our fundraiser Pulse of Palestine happening on June 26th, raising money for Palestinians who have been displaced and are moving to Melbourne or Australia just in general.
Para organisation.
Through the Para organisation, happening at the Grace Darling. That link's also in description, just on our website. Come along to that. Tickets $15. Freddie will be there.
So we.
I mean, I'll just be there chilling. I don't want to. Yeah.
You want to read some poetry?
You want to do top 5? Or?
No. I'll just be there. I'll be there chilling and chatting.
Yeah. We also will just be there. We're not hosting. Anyway, music's by Sixpence. We've already done that. Thanks so much, Freddie.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
No worries.
Toodaloo.